Okay, welcome back to another flashback review with two reviews to go before the finale. This one is the second to last of the season, and I'm going to continue the trend of relatable movies that, even though they're different, they actually have a similar message going on. I'm going to conclude with that with EdTV, starring Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. This movie, when I heard about this film, the first thing I said, oh, they're ripping off the Truman Show. They're ripping off a classic. Why are they going to make this film? Why are they trying to copy a classic film? But again, I saw this on VHS. I popped it into my little VCR. And to my surprise, I actually really enjoyed this film. Not as much, mind you, as I did with the Truman Show, but it was still a good movie on its own. And this one, more than the Truman Show, shows the pros and cons of reality TV, if reality TV was really reality TV. And there was like a pinch from executives to actually film an actual guy, do an actual show based around this guy's life. And what ended up happening was they picked Ed. And at first he's reluctant to do it, but his family, particularly his brother, was played by Woody Harrelson, decided, yo, do it, man. You're gonna need this. It's free money right there. So he decided to do it. And at first it didn't pan out well. They considered him as boring. They actually wanted to cancel the show right away. But they stuck with it. And what changed this more than any ever was the fact is that he went over to his brother's house and he was pretty much caught cheating on his girlfriend. Things started really getting interesting when he realized that he had the house for his brother's girlfriend, and that's when it really sparked it. And that's when people started to pay more attention to him. Stuff like this started to pick up. He started to get famous. He started to get, started to get recognition. People started following him. But as the fame comes the shady part of the business. And it all started when I saw Dennis Hopper came in, and pretty much it was his father, and that's when things started to open up. Secrets that you normally wanted to keep within the family started to reveal itself, and it started to lead to one bad event to another until it really started blowing up. Eventually, the character got a little tired of the situation, but because he was under contract, he couldn't escape it. And things started really getting bad. Well, not only when he was being filmed, but his family was being followed as well. This led to a whole big situation, how he can get out of this. And how he got out of it was pretty much very unique and very interesting. I'm not going to tell you what he did, but needless to say, if you watch the film, you pretty much will gather what he had done. He pretty much did the reversal of what the studios was doing to him. Now, I like this film for a lot of reasons. One, it really did explore the pros and cons of reality shows, because unlike the Truman Show, it was pretty much tamed within a studio. This one was actually really out there in the real world. The cameras was following him everywhere he went. The only place where the cameras couldn't go was in the bathroom, of course. That's pretty much where he would have his own privacy. When I mean own privacy, I mean he was actually really watching television just from a door's view. That's how much privacy he had left. And I'm glad they showed us. They didn't try and make this all glamorous. They showed that, hey, reality TV, if they would actually do it the way it is, because I don't buy that reality TV at all is reality TV. I think a lot of the stuff they do is scripted, and to me, it's even more faker than actually the actual sitcom they actually used to put out on television on a daily basis. But if they would actually do a reality TV just on one guy or just on a family like this, I think people who actually have a lot of fights with the cameraman, and that's basically what it is. His life was basically, at first he was actually happy, he was getting recognition, he was becoming a star. But then it really started to cave in on his family life. He couldn't have a sex life. He couldn't have privacy, and it became a wear and tear, especially when the family, a lot of stuff came out that didn't make the family look good. His stepfather, who he called his father, was a very good emotional scene. I actually really did enjoy this scene because, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the film, his father died of a heart attack. How he died of a heart attack? He ended up sleeping with his ex-wife, who was supposed to be with this other guy who was bound by a wheelchair. How he found out about it is because they told him that he was dead. His father was dead, and in his mind, he's talking about the other guy because he raised him. He knew him as a father, but it was actually his real father, and that's when he put two and two together. What was happening. He wanted to visit the funeral, but Ken. He wasn't invited in because of what was going on, the camera. So he was pretty much gated out. But they had a scene that I actually thought was well done, and pretty much a scene that was pretty much contained but well done between the two actors. Matthew McConaughey is kind of weird, and I agree with some of the criticism he has been getting to an extent. He did pick some weird film roles that doesn't make him look like a good actor. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation always seemed to stick out of my head as why the hell is this in this movie? Why did he even decide to be in this movie? And the funny thing is, he does play a good bad guy. I mean, if you've seen Killer Joe, you pretty much know what I'm talking about. But he just was odd in this role. I just didn't thought he was the right pick for this role. And there's a lot of films he have done. Fool's Gold. He has this weird reputation of taking weird or bad script roles versus good ones. Because if he gets a good role, good script, and he gets a good movie to work with, he can be very entertaining. He can be a guy you want to watch more and more. This is a film that really pushed me. And I've seen a lot of Matthew McConaughey films, more on VHS than in theaters, but I still see a lot of Matthew McConaughey. So I'm not going to sit there and say I haven't. I've seen what he can do. This was one of my films I actually liked him in. He was very, very good in this film. I think he fits perfectly with this film. A lot of characters did a very good job. I liked the relationship between the brother and which was played perfectly by Woody Harrelson and him, how they actually have this competition. They hate, but then again, they can't really stay mad at each other. They're brothers. You know, they pretty much say without saying any words, it's solved. And I actually liked that scene. So I know he can be a good actor, and I thought he was very, very good in this movie. Surprisingly well done. And I was more worried about him than anybody else. I was more worried about him because I didn't know how he was going to portray this role. But it turns out he actually did a fine job. Do I consider this better than Truman Show? Sadly, no. But do I think it's a great film? Yes. I gave this film 3.5 stars when I first saw it. It still keeps its 3.5 stars. I think the only flaw into the film is when they was about to post the third act, especially with the relationship he had with his girlfriend. They really had a slow pace to their relationship, a very, very slow pace, and they actually picked it up right after they actually solved the situation with the father when the father passed away, leading up to the end, which I'm not gonna tell how he actually got them to cancel the show, because he wanted to cancel the show after it was clear that it was invading in his privacy too much. And he said, you know, enough of this. I'm going to show you what it feels like. And once he realized how to get him and how he got him, it actually worked it pretty well. Again, this is one of the films why I wanted to do the review of Truman Show first and this show second, is because both of these movies, Truman and EdTV, show the consequences of having reality shows at times. Because I think a lot of people think a reality show is neat and cool, but we got to really ask ourselves one question: do we want a camera poking into our lives 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Even though they may edit it, do you really want that type of attention? Because I got news for you. I hate reality shows a lot. I do not like them. I really don't. Most reality shows I find pretty much tedious. I don't consider the people who, for example, Flavor Flav, I can't stand that show. The only reason how I was even watch that show is I had no choice. Majority rules. People want to watch that show, I have no choice but to watch that show. I can easily walk out the room, but if there's nothing else to do, nothing else wrong, I'm just going to sit there and watch it. And I found some of the stuff he was doing and some of the stuff that the girls was doing, just basically eye rolling and just basically I can't believe that they actually called this entertainment. Charm School, a little bit of the same thing, but at least Monique was realistic about it. They said that these people was not laughing for you, they was laughing at you, and basically said that your girl looked like a fool, and she made her own show. It was the one time that I actually watched a reality show from beginning to end, because I think she actually did it better. But even with that being said, there was so stupidity going on that you gotta wonder, is this actually scripted? I believe that most of these reality shows, from Survivor all the way down to Big Brother, all the way down to even the new reality show that's coming on right now, are pretty much scripted. The only thing I think that was not scripted, that was actually one of the original reality shows before reality show had their own genre, was Cops. That's pretty much it. Even then, I kind of questioned that, but at least I can tell you that there was some of the stuff I actually seen Cops do in New York that was actually filmed, and they're still actually on the air, surprisingly, but on cable. But that was my main reason, and these two movies showed the dark side of that. It shows, it really does show just the consequences they can actually lead up to if reality show was reality. And I think that, in most honest, that's why I stopped complaining about it. I said, you know what, this is probably why we ain't gonna have these shows the way that EdTV or the Truman Show have done, because if it does, it probably do more psychological and even more just pretty much damage to the corporations than what they need to be, and that's, I think these two movies pretty much solidified that. Overall, I think this movie was good. I thought this movie was very, very well done, and I do recommend it for those who actually are Matthew McConaughey fans. Even if you're not, I would recommend to watch this more, no so not just as a movie, but as a character piece, as a character study of how reality TV is, because it is a strong resemblance of what reality TV could be happening, and how reality TV, although many people think it's great and wonderful and thrilling to have your own reality TV show, it does come at a price, and you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it? And this is what the character has done. He's realizing a little too late that, hey, reality TV, it could be a blessing one time, you get the fame, get the money, but once your privacy out there, it can lead to a whole lot of stuff you just simply don't want. So 3.5 stars with this movie. That's all pretty much I got to say about this movie. There's one more film I gotta talk about before the finale, and that film, oh god, I hate this film. We'll talk about it next week. Until then, this is J77 saying take care, be safe, pray for me. I'll talk to you soon.